championship game. For those of you that were watching the E-Town game, they have moved the time of the championship game up to 6 o'clock on Thursday here at E-Town High School. The girls soccer team will play at 7:30 on Thursday night. Hopefully we will have our NFHS group out there, and we will bring you the live coverage of the district final. We're now going to turn it over to our PA announcer for both lineups for the Trojans and the Bruins.
Tournament is a matchup between the Lady Trojans of North Hardin High School and the Lady Bruins of Central Hardin High School. Now, let's meet the Lady Trojans of North Hardin High School. Number 1, Camilla Walther. Number 2, Simone Grant. Number 4, Adriana Anderson. Number 7, McKenna Brown. Number 8, Emily Schmidt. Number 10, Kelsey Atkins. Number 11, Lamaya Morales. Number 12, Jocelyn Crutcher. Number 16, Faith Ramos. Number 18, Lindsay Hodder. Number 20, Paloma Martinez. Number 21, Reese Thompson. Number 24, Madison Hunley. And number 32, Justice Denman. Head coach for the Lady Trojans is Jess Mattingly. And now, let's meet the Lady Bruins of Central Hardin High School. Number 2, Ella Downs. Number 3, Sadie Asher. Number 4, Luz Delgado. Number 5, Anna Jaggers. Number 6, Anna Lewis. Number 7, Larkin Taylor. Number 8, McKenna Cox. Number 9, Samantha Nelson. Number 10, Addison Keith. Number 12, Addie Archer. Number 16, Harper Lewis. Number 18, Claire Worrell. Number 19, Beth Self. Number 22, Caitlin Bess. Number 25, Grace Thompson. Number 26, Harper Jones. And number 29, Gracie Blair.
So there we have the lineups for both sides. For the North Hardin Trojans, they come in 17-10 on the season. For the Central Hardin Bruins, they come in with a 30-5 record on the year. These two teams met once during the regular season. Central Hardin taking it in straight sets from the Trojans. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, eTownApartments.com, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, E-Town Exterminating, and West Point Bank. Again, the winner of this game will take on the Elizabethtown Panthers on Thursday evening, right back here. Game time set to start at 6 o'clock. Again, this will be best 3 out of 5 sets. First through 4 sets. First one to 25 up by 2 wins that set. If we do go to a 5th set, it'll be the first team to 15 leading by 2. On the court for the Trojans will be Simone Grant, Justice Denman, Faith Ramos, McKenna Brown, Reese Thompson, and Emily Schmidt, with the libero being Kelsey Atkins. For Central Hardin, Harper Lewis, Addie Atcher, Anna Lewis, Katie Vest, Sadie Atcher, and the libero for the Bruins is Sam Nelson. North Hardin will have the opening serve. It'll be McKenna Brown to the line, 0, serving 0. Vest to Anna Lewis outside. Addie Atcher rolls that one over, dug out by Brown, back into the net, not able to return it. Point Bruins. And that will get McKenna Cox and Larkin Taylor into the line. Taylor heads to the front line while Cox goes to the service line, 1, serving 0. Grant to Brown. Into the middle for Denman, not able to get it over. And it'll be a point for the Bruins, 2, serving 0. Denman to Brown, right back to Denman in the middle. She'll send it outside. Cox gets to that one. Nelson pops up. Addie Atcher over. Kelsey Atkins gets that one now outside for Ramos. She cuts across. It's wide. Point Bruins, 3, serving 0. Floats that one over. Thompson and running into each other. Ace for the Bruins, 4, serving 0. And with that, Coach Mattingly take their first time out. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned family-run pest control company that's been serving the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. And West Point Bank, let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. So come back to action. McKenna Cox at the line for the Bruins, 4, serving 0. Thompson to Brown. She tries to dump it over. Addie Atcher sends it back. Atkins to Brown outside. Ramos will have to send it back row. Nelson to Cox. Up for Addie Atcher. She catches the tape and it goes in. 5, serving 0. Floats this one, Grant to Brown now. Denman gets it over, Nelson. Vest has it come over, Cox hits in the air, and that'll be a double hit. Point for North. Denman was the one who caused the trouble as it was coming back. Jocelyn Crutcher into the lineup on the front line as Faith Ramos heads to the service line. 1, serving 5. That one into the net. Service error. Point for the Bruins. Paloma Martinez checks in on the back line for North Hardin. As Katie Vest heads to the service line for the Bruins. 6, serving 1. Denman to Brown. Let's go back row. Martinez sends this one over. Nelson to Cox. Back sets for Sadie Atcher. Off the front line. Brown gets it to Atkins. She'll go outside. Crutcher will roll this one to the back row. Nelson to Cox. Outside Addie Atcher. Dug out by Brown. Denman sends it back. Not able to return it. Point Bruins. 7, serving 1. Martinez to Crutcher, and that's going to come back. Ace. 8 serving 1. Martinez to Brown. In the middle for Grant. Taylor sends it right back over, Dimon back. Sadie Atcher now to be Addie Atcher will roll it over. Atkins gets that one. Brown back sets for Grant. She goes across. And it'll be a kill for Grant. Point Trojans. Emily Schmidt checks in on the front line for North as Kelsey Atkins heads to the service line. 2 serving 8. Nelson to Cox for Addie Atcher. They get off the front. Atkins to Brown. Now Grant will send it over. Vest to Cox. Back sets for Sadie Atcher. That one grabs the tape and comes over. Point Bruins. Addison Keith checks in on the front line. Grace Thompson will head to the service line. 9 serving 2. Atkins to Brown. Crutcher rolls that one over. Thompson to Cox for Taylor, and Taylor gets the kill. Taylor was questionable after a knee injury late in the regular season. 10 serving 2. Atkins to Brown. Back to Atkins, and that goes deep. Point Central Hardin. 11 serving 2. Atkins to Brown. Outside for Schmidt, not able to cut that one across. 12 serving 2. Ace. 13 serving 2. Atkins right back at the net. Brown taps it over. Keith to Cox, back set for Sadie Atcher, and she gets the kill. 14 serving 2. Martinez to Brown for Schmidt. She'll just tap that one over. Cox gets to it to the middle. Thompson now to be Vessel, send it back row. Martinez to Brown. Quick set for Schmidt. Jousted the net, sent back. Atkins gets it. Martinez back near the line. It won't get over. Point for the Bruins. Timeout, North Hardin. This is an HCEC-TV student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors: Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, eTownApartments.com, West Point Bank, and eTown Exterminating. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs, airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable Channel 2, Spectrum Communications Channel 184, and you can always check out our past broadcasts on our YouTube channel. Just search HCEC-TV, subscribe to our channel, and get all your local community sports and events. We'd also like to thank NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming service. Contact NFHS.com to subscribe today. As we come back to action, it'll be Grace Thompson at the line for the Bruins. 15 serving 2. Martinez to Brown. Back row, Atkins will send it to the corner, and Atkins with the kill. Madison Hundley now into the lineup for the Trojans. She'll head to the service line. 3 serving 15. Vest to Cox. Now Nelson sends it over. Atkins to Brown. Outside for Crutcher. Tipped at the net. We have a net violation on the Bruins. Our Trojans 4 serving 15. Sam Nelson back in for the Bruins in the back line. Vest to Cox. Outside for Keith. She goes back row. It's in. Point Central. Harper Lewis and Anna Lewis check into the lineup. Harper to the front line, Anna to the service line. 16 serving 4. Martinez to Brown. Outside for Crutcher. She'll roll it over. Anna Lewis to Vest. Back for Sadie Atcher. She just rolls it over, finds the open hole. And point for the Bruins. 17 serving 4. Martinez to Schmidt. Now it'll be Crutcher sends it over. Nelson to Anna Lewis for Keith. Off the front line, Atkins gets that one to Brown. Crutcher will roll it back row. Vest is there. Anna Lewis for Harper Lewis. Back corner, it's in. 18 serving 4. Atkins to Brown for Schmidt. That one blocked at the net by Harper Lewis and Keith. 19 serving 4. That goes wide. Point Trojans. They'll get Reese Thompson and Faith Ramos up. Ramos to the front line, Thompson to the service line. 5 serving 19. Vest to Anna Lewis. Back sets for Sadie Atcher. She'll bump it over. Thompson to Brown. Outside Ramos. And Ramos tools the block. Six serving 19. Floats this one. Harper Lewis to Anna Lewis. Back set Sadie Atcher. Blocked at the net. Best gets that one. Anna Lewis to Keith. That one dug out by Thompson all the way back over. Anna Lewis to Vest. Now Sadie Atcher tips it over. Thompson gets that one. Brown back outside for Ramos. She'll cuts it off. Hit at the net. Atkins pops it up. Ramos again now sends this one over and finds the open spot. Point Trojans. 7 serving 19. That one short. Service error, point for the Bruins. Sadie Atcher now to the service line, 20 serving 7. Hundley to Brown for Ramos. Backside, Sadie Atcher gets that one. To Anna Lewis for Keith. Popped at the net by Schmitz, hit back over by Brown. Anna Lewis for Keith. She'll send it back row. Thompson gets that. To Atkins for Ramos. She tips it over. Anna Lewis gets that to Vest. Keith will just punch it over. That goes wide. Point North Hardin. Justice Denman back in on the front line for North as Emily Schmidt heads to the service line. 8 serving 20. And an ace by Schmidt. 9 serving 20. Sadie Atcher to Anna Lewis. Nelson sends it over. Hunley to Brown for Denman. She goes back corner. It's long. Point Bruins. Addie Atcher now back in on the front line. Sam Nelson heads to the service line. Kelsey Atkins checks back in for the Trojans. 21 serving 9. Hunley to Brown for Ramos. Off the front, Sadie Atcher gets that. Anna Lewis, that'll be a double hit. Point North. Simone Grant back in for the Trojans. She'll head to the front line as McKenna Brown heads to the service line. 10 serving 21. Nelson to Anna Lewis for Addie Atcher. Back row, Atkins gets that one to Brown. Across for Ramos, she'll just roll it over. Nelson diving gets that one. Anna Lewis for Harper Lewis. They find the open spot. Point Central. Kenna Cox and Larkin Taylor back in for the Bruins. Taylor to the front line. Cox to the service line. 22 serving 10. Thompson to Brown. She just dumps it over. Sadie Atcher there. Cox back outside. Addie Atcher down the line. And a kill for Atcher. 23 serving 10. Thompson to Brown. Outside for Grant. Back line. That one goes outside of the antennas. So Point Central. They'll be serving for the set. 24 serving 10. Thompson to Brown for Ramos. Down the line, Sadie Atcher there. Cox for Taylor. Blocked by Denman. Cox sets it back up. Addie Atcher this time right down the net. And set number 1 goes to the Bruins. 25-10. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. With locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction is a family-owned and operated management service with over 30 years of combined experience. For those who are serving our country in the military, a discount is available. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff available for all your recycling needs. Located in Elizabethtown on 31W, just south of exit 91 off Interstate 65. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned family-run pest control company that has been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. And West Point Bank, with 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Online at westpointbank.com. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs, airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable Channel 2, Spectrum Communications Channel 184. And you can always check out our past broadcast on our YouTube channel. Just search HCEC-TV, subscribe to our channel, and get all your local community sports and events. Reminder, Thursday night it will be a doubleheader for our station. The championship game for volleyball will take place at 6 o'clock. E-Town has already punched their ticket there, waiting to see who wins this match here. And then at 7:30 on Thursday evening, it will be Elite 8 action in the girls soccer tournament as Elizabethtown will host Owensboro Catholic. Again, that one starting at 7:30. Friday night, we'll be back on the air from North Hardin as the Trojans will be hosting the Central Hardin Bruins in a district rival matchup. Kickoff there is scheduled for 7:30. Coach Paul Gray will bring you all of the football action. We start set number 2 on the court for the Bruins. Addison Keith, Sadie Atcher, Anna Lewis, Harper Lewis, Addie Atcher, and Katie Vest. On the court for the Trojans, Madison Hunley, Reese Thompson, Emily Schmidt, McKenna Brown, Faith Ramos, and Justice Denman. Sam Nelson checks in as the libero for the Bruins. It'll be Kelsey Atkins to check in for the Trojans. Central Hardin will have the opening serve. Sam Nelson to the line. And that'll be an ace for Nelson. 1 serving 0. Floats this one over. Thompson to Brown. Outside for Ramos. She'll just have to tip it. And goes wide. Point Central. 2 serving 0. Hunley to Brown. For Ramos, she'll roll that one over. Anna Lewis to Vest, just sends it right back over. Hunley gets that one to Brown. Again, Ramos, that one blocked at the net. Point Central. 3 serving 0. Thompson to Brown. For Ramos, that wide also. 4 serving 0. Brown to Atkins. Outside for Ramos. That one going to miss out. Point Bruins. Be 5 serving 0. I'm not sure what the officials were checking at the table. That one short. Point for North Hardin. Simone Grant will check in on the front line. McKenna Brown heads to the service line. 1 serving 5. Nelson to Anna Lewis. Cross for Addie Atcher. Blocked at the net. Sadie Atcher. And Nelson back for Addie Atcher. She rolls this one over and gets the kill. And now McKenna Cox at the line for the Bruins. 6 serving 1. Larkin Taylor checks in on the front line. Thompson to Brown. She just dumps it over. Sadie Atcher to Cox. Outside for Addie Atcher. Rolls that one. It's wide. Point North. Loma Martinez will check in along with Jocelyn Crutcher for the Trojans. Martinez to the service line. 2 serving 6. Nelson to Cox. Outside for Addie Atcher. Off the front line. Atkins gets to it. Brown. Right back for Atkins. She'll send it back row. Nelson there. Cox. Side for Taylor. And that goes wide. Point North. 3, serving 6. Vest to Cox for Addie Atcher, back row. Martinez gets that one. Brown outside for Crutcher. Crutcher goes off the blockers for the kill. 4, serving 6. Nelson to Vest. Addie Atcher will send this back row. Martinez gets to it. Up into the rafters. Atkins. Now to be Brown. That'll send it over. Sadie Atcher to Cox. Outside for Addie Atcher. This one won't be dug out. Kill for the Bruins senior. Katie Vest now to the line for the Bruins. 7, serving 4. Martinez to Brown. In the middle for Grant. She goes back row, finds an open spot, gets the kill. Nelson to Cox. Outside, Addie Atcher. This one down the line and in. Luz Delgado checks in on the service line as Addison Keith heads to the front line for the Bruins. 8, serving 5. That goes wide. Point North. Madison Hunley checks in for the Trojans. Addie Atcher comes back, but that'll get Sam Nelson back in for the Bruins. Hunley to the line. 6, serving 8. Vest to Cox. Outside Keith. Just throws that one over. Schmidt gets it back after diving Hunley dig. Cox backs up Sadie Atcher. She'll go back row. Atkins is there. To Brown. Brown will send it over and finds the open spot. 7, serving 8. Vest to Cox. Outside for Keith. That one right at the net. They're all tied at 8 apiece. Nelson to Cox. For Sadie Atcher, blocked at the net by Schmidt. 9, serving 8. Nelson to Cox. For Taylor in the middle, and she gets the kill. Anna Lewis will check in and head to the service line. Harper Lewis checks in on the front line for the Bruins. 9, serving 9. Martinez to Brown. Outside for Crutcher. That one blocked by Lewis and Sadie Atcher. 10, serving 9. Atkins to Brown. That one's going to go all the way over the net. Sadie Atcher to Anna Lewis, and she'll try to dump it over. Schmidt gets to it. Now Crutcher will send it back row. Nelson gets that one. Anna Lewis for Sadie Atcher. Martinez to Brown. Now it'll be Hunley. He'll send it to the back row. Nelson to Anna Lewis for Harper Lewis. Tipped at the net. Schmidt plays it outside. Brown will send it back over. Vest now over to Anna Lewis. Back outside for Keith. She'll go back row. Atkins there. Brown for Crutcher. She'll roll it back corners. Nelson. And now Vest will send it back. Hunley to Brown. Quick set inside for Schmidt. Dug out by Anna Lewis to Katie Vest across. Sadie Atcher gets the kill. Being good play on both sides. 11 serving 9. Atkins to Schmidt for Crutcher. And Crutcher gets the kill. It's Thompson and Faith Ramos check back in for the Trojans. Thompson will head to the service line. 10 serving 11. Vest to Anna Lewis for Keith. It goes off the front line. Atkins to Brown for Ramos. Just taps it over. Anna Lewis to Vest. Keith will get it over to Hunley. Now it'll be she was the first touch. I'm going to say a lift. That did not look like a lift. It looked like a double hit, but it was the first touch. You can't have a double on the first touch. Sadie Atcher now serving, 12 serving 10. Hunley to Brown for Ramos. Nelson digs that one out. Anna Lewis will send it over. Thompson to Brown, who sends it over. Sadie Atcher to Anna Lewis for Harper Lewis. Blocked back by Schmidt and Ramos. Emily Schmidt now to the line for North Hardin. Justice Denman back in on the front line. 11 serving 12. Vest to Anna Lewis outside. Keith off the top of the net. Hunley gets to it. Brown sends it over. Nelson gets that one. Anna Lewis for Keith. Back row. Schmidt digs that one out all the way back. Sadie Atcher to Anna Lewis for Harper Lewis. Just tapped over. Ramos gets that one. Brown right back for Ramos. She goes off the blockers. They're all tied at 12 apiece. Nelson to Anna Lewis. Outside for Keith. That one catches the back line. Point Central. Kelsey Atkins back on the back line for the Trojans. Addie Atcher back in on the front line for the Bruins. Thompson seemed like went under the bleachers. Sam Nelson now to serve for the Bruins. 13 serving 12. Hunley to Brown for Ramos. Back line, Nelson gets that one. Anna Lewis outside. Addie Atcher, that's a kill. 14 serving 12. Hunley to Brown for Atkins. She'll send it back corner. Sadie Atcher to Nelson for Addie Atcher. Back line. Atkins grabs that one. Thompson sends it over. Anna Lewis to Vest. Quick set inside for Harper Lewis. She gets the kill. 15 serving 12. Thompson to Brown. Side Ramos. That's long. And it is a touch by the Bruins. Point North Hardin. Simone Grant checks in. She'll head to the front line as McKenna Brown heads to the service line. 13 serving 15. Nelson to Anna Lewis outside for Addie Atcher. Rolls that one right into an open spot. McKenna Cox and Larkin Taylor back in for the Bruins. Cox heads to the service line. 16 serving 13. Thompson to Brown. For Grant, she'll roll it back corner. Nelson there. Cox outside for Addie Atcher. She just dumps it over. (17) serving 13. Thompson to Brown for Ramos, not able to clear the net. 18 serving 13. And North Hardin will take a timeout. This is an HCEC-TV student production, a division of Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our line of sports coverage sponsors: Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, eTownApartments.com, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, eTown Exterminating, and West Point Bank. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable Channel 2, Spectrum Communications Channel 184, and you can always check out our past broadcasts on our YouTube channel. Just search HCEC-TV, subscribe to our channel, and get all your local community sports and events. Elizabethtown in straight sets earlier tonight advanced over John Hardin. They advanced to the championship match on Thursday. Again, that match on Thursday has been moved up to 6 o'clock. So we come back to action. McKenna Cox at the line for the Bruins, 18 serving 13. Atkins gets it to the net. Brown, now to be Thompson, will send it over. Nelson to Cox for Addie Atcher. That one blocked at the net. Vest to Cox. Back outside, Addie Atcher will roll this one this time and gets the open spot. (19) serving 13. Thompson to Denman. Now Grant sends it over. Nelson is there. Cox bump sets outside. Addie Atcher. She'll send it to the back. Atkins is there. Brown outside for Ramos. Blocked at the net. Thompson pops it up. Joust at the net. Denman gets it over and gets the point for the Trojans. Jocelyn Crutcher and Paloma Martinez in for North Hardin. Martinez to the service line. 14 serving 19. Nelson to Cox. Outside, Addie Atcher. Back row, Atkins gets that one. To Cox. To Brown, now back over by Atkins. Nelson to Cox for Taylor. Dug out by Martinez. And Brown tried to dump it over. Just gets caught on the net. Point Bruins. Katie Vest now to the line for Central Hardin. 20 serving 14. Atkins to Brown, outside. Crutcher, Vest digs that one out to Nelson. For Addie Atcher, sends it over, off Denman. Martinez gets to it, unable to get it back. Point Bruins. 21 serving 14. Atkins to Brown for Crutcher. Blocked at the net. That one goes off the antennas. Point Bruins. 22 serving 14. Atkins to Brown. Outside, Crutcher will send it back corner. Vest gets that one to Nelson. For Addie Atcher, she winds up. That one blocked at the net. Sadie Atcher to Cox. Back right towards the net. She'll just tap that one over. Brown gets that one to Atkins. For Grant. Grant goes off the front line. Nelson pops it in the air. Vest outside for Sadie Atcher. She'll go back row. Some miscommunication as Atcher gets the kill. 23, serving 14. Atkins right to the net. Brown there. And popped inside. So, a double hit. Point North. Emily Schmidt back in on the front line for the Trojans. Kelsey Atkins to the service line. 15 serving 23. Nelson to Cox. She'll send it over. Schmidt to Brown. Outside, Grant. That one blocked at the net by Addie Atcher. Luz Delgado checks in. She'll head to the service line, serving for the set. 24 serving 15. Grant back over. Atcher with the, Keith with the tip kill. And that'll end set number 2. Central Hardin takes it 25-15. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming, sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. With locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction is a family-owned and operated management service with over 30 years of combined experience. For those who are serving our country in the military, a discount is available. Take a virtual tour today at eTownApartments.com. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff available for all your recycling needs. Located in Elizabethtown on 31W, just south of exit 91 off Interstate 65. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company and has been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. West Point Bank has 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Tune in weekly for all local HCEC-TV programs airing on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable Channel 2, Spectrum Communications Channel 184. You can always check out our past broadcasts on our YouTube channel. Just search HCEC-TV, subscribe to our channel, and get all your local community sports and events. I'd also like to thank NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming service. Contact nfhs.com to subscribe today. And a reminder, we're back here Thursday night, 6 o'clock for the championship game in volleyball. Elizabethtown has already punched their ticket, taking John Hardin in straight sets earlier tonight. They will take on the winner of this match. At 7:30 on Thursday night, we'll be outside here at the Elizabethtown High School campus as the Elizabethtown Panthers will host Owensboro Catholic in the Elite 8 of the KHSAA State Soccer Tournament. We will have that one for you on NFHS.com. Friday night, it's football as the Central Hardin Bruins travel to Radcliffe to take on the North Hardin Trojans at kickoff set for 7:30. Coach Paul Gray will bring you all of that. On the court to begin set number 3 for the Trojans: Simone Grant, Justice Denman, Faith Ramos, McKenna Cox, Emily Schmidt, and Reese Thompson, with Kelsey Atkins checking in as the libero. for the Bruins. Harper Lewis, Katie Vest, Addie Atcher, Anna Lewis, Sadie Atcher, and at libero is Sam Nelson. McKenna Cox will start it off for the Trojans, 0 serving 0. Nelson to Anna Lewis for Addie Atchers, comes over, sent back by Brown. Atkins pops it in the air. Brown sets it for Grant. She'll go back row. Nelson gets that one. Anna Lewis across for Addie Atcher. Back row, she gets the kill. Kenna Cox and Larkin Taylor now in for the Bruins. Cox to the service line, 1 serving 0. Immediately following the conclusion of this, we will have 2 members of the losing team named to the all-tournament team. Atkins to Brown for Ramos. She rolls that one over. Vest to Cox for Addie Atcher down the line, gets the kill. 2 serving 0. Grant to Brown. Back for Grant. That one goes deep. 3 serving 0. Thompson to Brown for Ramos. She'll just bump it over. Sadie Atcher to Cox for Taylor. That one goes off Brown, unable to get to it. Point Bruins. 4 serving 0. Grant, that one into the rafters, played by Atkins. Now Grant will bump it over. It goes wide, Point Central. And North Hardin will take a timeout. This is an HCEC-TV student production, a division of Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors, Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, eTownApartments.com, West Point Bank, and eTown Exterminating. In our schedule for the rest of the week, Thursday night we'll be here at 6 o'clock for the volleyball championship game. And then 7:30, NFHS will be here from eTown covering the Elite 8 in girls soccer. On Friday night, we will be at North Hardin High School as they will host the Central Hardin Bruins in football action. That kickoff time set for 7:30. So we come back to action here. McKenna Cox at the line for the Bruins. 5 serving 0. Atkins to Brown for Denman. Blocked at the net and not able to return it. 6 serving 0. Grant sends it all the way back over. Atcher with the kill. 7 serving 0. Thompson to Brown for Ramos. Down the line, it's in. Jocelyn Crutcher and Paloma Martinez check in for North Hardin. Martinez to the service line, 1 serving 7. Vest to Cox, outside for Addie Atcher. Brown digs that one out to Crutcher. Now Grant sends it over. Nelson to Cox, outside Addie Atcher, just punches this one down the net and in. Point for Central Hardin. Katie Vest now to the line for the Bruins. 8 serving 1. And that'll be an ace. 9 serving 1. Martinez to Brown. She's able to get it in. Taylor there will get the kill as it goes off a blocker. 10 serving 1. Camilla Wathern now into the lineup for the Trojans. Wather to Brown. Now Grant will send it over. Nelson to Cox. Addie Atcher will send it and gets the kill. 11 serving 1. Atkins to Brown. Outside, Crutcher, blocked at the net. Crutcher pops it back up. Sadie Atcher gets the kill as she goes across court. 12 serving 1. That one into the net. Service error. Emily Schmidt checks in on the front line for the Trojan. Kelsey Atkins to the service line. 2 serving 12. Nelson to Cox for Sadie Atcher. Rolls that one over. Brown to Crutcher. Now Schmidt will send it back. Rhoda Nelson. Cox across. Addie Atcher rolls that one. Is that a double hit? Addison Keith checks in on the front line. Grace Thompson to the service line. 13 serving 2. Ace for Thompson. 14 serving 2. Martinez back in for the Trojans. Martinez back. Brown sends it over. Thompson sends it right back and gets the kill. 15 serving 2. Atkins to Brown. Outside Schmidt. That one doesn't clear the tape. 16 serving 2. Atkins to Brown for Crutcher. Blocked to the net by Keith. Punched over by Grant. Vest to Cox. She'll try to tip it over. Schmidt sends it right back. That goes out. Point North. Luz Delgado checks in on the back line for the Bruins. Now Addie Atcher will check in so that Sam Nelson can get back in. On the other side, Maddie Hunley to the line for the Trojans. 3 serving 16. Delgado to Cox. Outside Keith, she punches that one. Hunley right to the net. Schmidt will punch it over. Cox. Delgado right at the net. Sadie Atcher with the kill. Harper Lewis and Anna Lewis into the lineup for the Bruins. Anna will go to the service line 17, serving 3. Atkins sends it back over. Misplayed by Sadie Asher. Point North. Reese Thompson and Faith Ramos back in for the Trojans. Thompson heads to the service line. 4, serving 17. Delgado to Anna Lewis for Harper Lewis. Touched at the net. Point Central. Katie Vest back in for the Bruins. Sadie Atcher to the line. 18, serving 4. Atkins to Brown. Outside for Ramos. She'll roll it to the back. Nelson is there to Anna Lewis. Back across for Keith. And blocked at the net by Brown. Point Trojans. Justice Denman back in on the front line as Emily Schmidt heads to the service line. 5, serving 18. Nelson right back near the net. Anna Lewis, that one's blocked by Ramos. Point North. 6, serving 18. Vest to Anna Lewis for Harper Lewis. Thompson gets to it and unable to return it. Point Bruins. Sam Nelson heads to the service line. Addie Atcher back in on the front line. 19, serving 6. Floats this one. Thompson right back to the net. Brown there is blocked by Addie Atcher. 20, serving 6. Amaya Morales checking into the lineup for the Trojans. On the front line. Hunley to Brown for Morales. She'll send it back row. Nelson gets that one. Anna Lewis outside. Addie Atcher off the front line. Hunley gets to it. Denman sends it back row. Nelson back to Anna Lewis for Harper Lewis. That's in. Kill Harper Lewis. 21, serving 6. That one's short. Point North. Simone Grant back in for the Trojans. McKenna Brown to the service line. 7, serving 21. Nelson to Anna Lewis for Addie Atcher off the front line. She gets the kill. 22, serving 7. McKenna Cox and Larkin Taylor check in. Cox heads to the service line. Atkins to Brown. Morales will send it over. Nelson to Cox. This one right at the net. Point North. Jocelyn Crutcher and Paloma Martinez back in for the Trojans. Martinez heads to the service line. 8, serving 22. Vest to Cox. Outside, Addie Atcher rolls that one over. Katie Vest heads to the service line for the Bruins. 23, serving 8. Atkins. Brown for Crutcher off the front line. Nelson dives and gets that one. Cox for Larkin Taylor, and she gets the kill. And Vest will serve for the match. 24 serving 8. Martinez to Brown for Grant. And that is long. Oh, they overruled it. So it was on the line. Point North. Emily Schmidt will check in on the front line. It's Kelsey Atkins to the service line. 9 serving 24. Ace by Atkins. 10 serving 24s. Vest to Cox. Side Addie Atcher. Off the blockers, Brown to Atkins. Crutcher will send it back row. Nelson is there. Cox outside again for Addie Atcher. That goes wide. Point North. 11 serving 24. That one into the net, and that will do it as Central Hardin wins 25-11 in the third set to take the sweep, and they will move on to Thursday night's championship game against Elizabethtown. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. eTownApartments.com by Mark Harris Construction. Take a virtual tour today. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned family-run pest control company that's been serving the surrounding area since 1976. And West Point Bank. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. We will now have 2 members of North Hardin named to the all-tournament team. As Coach Pitts Emily Schmidt and Faith Ramos named to the all-tournament team. Back-to-back doubleheader nights for all of our workers here at HCEC-TV that make this possible. For Miss Gina Ryan, our producer in the truck, I am Bobby Thompson saying so long and good night.